How you doing, everybody? It's Monday the 21st of December 2009. Very important day. It's the winter solstice, and I know a lot of people don't like the reality, but the reality is that we're on a mud ball and we fly around a star in the middle of nowhere. And when we're all governed by these solstices and these movements of the planets, and we must never forget that. Well, we live on this mud ball, that's what we're going by. So, anyway, it's only a small thing. I just wanted to talk about today a couple of things. I wanted to thank everybody again for all of their comments on the Why We Are Here video. It's been phenomenal, that's all I can say. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the comments. I didn't expect the quality of them. There was a lot of time, a lot of effort put in by a lot of people, and I've put the link up there for people who don't know what I'm talking about. Have a look at this little, don't have a look at my video necessarily. I want you to read the comments. Powerful, absolutely powerful. So they cannot be lost, those comments. I have to work out in my mind what I'm going to do with them and how I'm going to deal with it, but anyway, I'm sure lots of them will still come in. So I'm going to ask, I started this by asking me, that's the most important, you know, we're here, what's it all about, where are we going, okay? So there are other massive questions like that I want to ask, big questions, and I'm going to pose a couple of them, but I'm not going to do them just today or then again, really. So before Christmas I'm going to ask another one and we see what response we get out of that, and then there's 4 or 5 of them that are big sort of questions, okay? But anyway, the final thing just before I break off now, I just want to comment. Gary made a posting. Now I've put the posting up there, you can have a wee look at it, alright? Gary, I had never seen, I've seen a couple of his videos, but I've never seen any of them that dealt with anything other than economics. So Gary and I would have seen eye to eye on a lot of the economic issues, because he sort of approaches it from a class issue. He would sort of deny that, because really his approach is an anarchist approach, I think anyway, that's how I see it, or a pseudo-anarchist approach. And I would agree with sort of 60 or 70% of his approach from the economic point of view. But on this issue of, you know, the big overview of about mankind, what we are and all that, Gary, sorry about that, we have to go our different ways. His sort of response is a nihilist, sort of quasi-nihilist response. It's this sort of business of, you know, it's dogmatic. It's a dogmatic approach. It's fucking obvious. You're a muppet and a moron. This is implied in the whole thing, because you don't understand that it's so obvious. We're just here by accident. We're only bacteria. We're like scum on the face of the earth type thing, right? And and it's all this sort of, it's almost right-wing stuff, but it ain't right-wing stuff. It's a nihilist approach, you know. It's tautology. It's arguing everything to the point of abstraction. That's what it is. It's to suit an argument. Everything is reductio ad absurdum. That's how the Romans described it. You reduce the argument to absurdity, and then you win the argument because you do that. It's sort of a distortion of logic, okay? And Gary, you and I, I'm sorry, you have to go your way and I have to go mine on this one. And I think you know in your heart of hearts that what you're saying and what you believe is not anything like the whole truth. And you know, and I think you betray your own intelligence by believing what you believe, because at the end of the day, you know and I know, we both know, and everybody in the world knows, that man as a sentient being only sees a tiny piece of the puzzle. It's obvious. That's obvious. I mean, the bottom line about it is, in the whole light spectrum, man only sees that. In the whole audio spectrum, man only hears that. You know, the sound spectrum, man only hears that bit. in all of the senses that we have that feed our computer, that they're the inputs to our computer. We're only feeding that amount of the information in. There is an infinite amount of information out there. So that's all I want to say about that. You have to go your way and I have to go mine, and they're the twins shall meet on that one. But I wish you the best, and I just wish you weren't so negative about the whole thing. That's all. And so narcissistic. It verges on narcissism. Narcissism. Your viewpoint. It's the ego. It's a thought process based around the whole I am important, and I reject that out of hand. I don't see me as JB as being important at all. I'm not important. I'm the first to acknowledge it. Anyway, so I put the link up to Gary's video. Have a wee look at it and see what you think of him. The next thing is I put a link up to an article in the Sunday Times on debt in America. It's fascinating. I think you should have a look at it. London Sunday Times yesterday. The final thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about personal debt and what I see it as. And it's not one of these big questions or anything like that. It's just, if the thing came up one Friday night, I went out with friends of mine for a drink. I can't drink. There's about 25 people, men and women, and some young people, and groups of people broke up and started talking about various things. And I overheard a group of men talking about debt and what they thought about debt, and I was a bit stunned by it. These would be men in their 30s and 40s. So they're a generation removed from me and how they perceive debt. I'm an old footy-dotty. The way I see everything I try and simplify everything down, break it down as simple as I can without reducing it down to nonsense. I see personal power as a manifestation of money and sex. Simple things, you know. And now I know that loads of people are going to talk about other things like criminals of guns and all that. And I know all about all that stuff. I'm talking about just basic things. The average person, money and sex. That's how they manifest their power in the world. Okay, they do it through other, but they do it through other means. But I just, in the simple terms, this is how they do it. To me, I see when you have money, you have personal power. Like you can acquire things, do things. You can get on buses. You can get on a train, go to a plane. You can buy stuff, do stuff, turn on lights. Personal power. It's a manifestation of personal power. Do you know what I mean? But you need that money. That is the system we live in. We live in a capitalist system. That's how it's been designed. In order to utilize what's around in the external world, you need credit. You need money. But these men didn't seem to think that. They seem to think that. And sorry, I've jumped a bit there. The other thing is that, you know, lack of money or indebtedness. Well, lack of money is just a neutral situation. But say you go into debt, you actually become indebted to someone to get money. To me, that means they have leverage on you. Like you're in their thrall. They have power over you. And maybe I've got, maybe I viewed it in a footy-dotty way. These fellas didn't seem to see debt that way. They just embraced it. It's just debt. Now, I know people are going to talk about interest rates and all that. I know all about that. I'm trying to talk about the fucking moral, the philosophical sort of view of it. Like I'm trying to talk about a bigger thing than just fucking crude economics here. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Anyway, I'm throwing it out to people. What do you think? How do you see debt? Is it a good thing, a bad thing? How do you see it? All right, I see it as an evil. I see it as a means for other people to dominate over classes, like for instance, you know, the ruling class to dominate over the working class, etc. All that sort of stuff. That's how I see it. Okay, so let us know what you think. Okay, and we'll discuss it more, and we'll pose the other question, the second big question before Christmas, and we see what the response we get out of it. Okay, good luck everybody.